gotta keep moving forward. gotta keep moving forward.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Horizon Overwatch Scrim Night. That's right, back at it again. Very exciting to bring you some interesting games today. It's going to be Horizon Apex going up against Frostbite.gg. My name is Argoner, and with me is my very good friend Hodo Hori, hereby to be known as Hodo. How you doing today, buddy?
Hi, Argandera. I am wonderful, and I'm looking forward here to a great match between these two teams, as they're evenly matched here in the low 4,000. Excuse me. So this is going to be a great scrim here between Frostbite and Horizon.
Yeah, it's going to be another good one here. And I do want to just do a quick rundown of some of the people that we have, because there are a few switches that have come through for the team of Horizon Apex. It is going to be Hoplo, Serial Killer, Morbid, Sign Me, Archimage, and Saba. That is going to be your lineup for Horizon Apex. Over on the side of Frostbite.gg, we've got Big All, CK400, Zazan, Aloof Andrew, Jack 22, and Lockery. So we're really fired up to see these guys square off. I don't think that we've actually seen these two teams square off, so it's going to be very interesting. First meeting here, and we're going straight to Lijiang Tower.
Arriving at Lijiang Tower.
So yeah, here, King of the Hill map, good way to sort of start off between the two teams. So I'm interested in seeing what they're going to be running here. Looking like dive formations here coming out from both, as I see Haplo and Zazan coming out on the on the Winstons, and with Aloof Andrew and Silica on the Diva here, it's going to be interesting to see what DPS they're going to pick here for the Pagoda.
Yeah, and typically a lot of teams, I mean, there are so many different things that you can do when it comes to Lijiang Tower. You're going to be seeing a lot of double snipers, at the very least one sniper, and it looks like we do have a couple of Widowmakers that are going to be popping off today. So it's going to be Sign Me going up for that 1v1 against CK400. So much rides on the first pick here. You know, once you get that first pick on Lijiang Tower, really any King of the Hill map, you know, it initiates that snowball. It lets you get control of the point. Winning the first fight is crucial here, because not only do you have that confidence going in to the rest of the map, but you also have the ult economy, the ultimate advantage built on top of the enemy team, because you've done so much more than they were able to accomplish. So this is going to be a huge moment in the fight right here. I know it's the very beginning, but the very first pick really could dictate the winner of this map.
Yeah, here it is, and they're going to be coming in, just sort of aggressively coming over the bridge here and just sort of engaging right away, as it looks like you're going with the pharmacy. Big All going for an early pick here on the front side, but it looks like Haplo and Serial Killer here are just going to be engaging, as it looks like the Winston gets taken out and Aloof Andrew gets taken out right away, so they lose their frontline tank.
Yeah, a lot of damage being pumped down, and there's no tanks left on the side of Frostbite Esports. That is a nightmare right there, because you know, you really need your tanks to enable your DPS to do the job. If your tanks are dead, nobody's making space, so it's very easy to start getting picked off. But take a look at this. Frostbite Esports, not to be stopped here. They're just able to pump out so much damage in such a short time, and if they were not able to get those picks that quickly, it really looked like a one fight for Horizon Apex. But how about Jack here with the 3K support, by the way?
Yeah, Jack going ham there on the Zenyatta, showing that he can also do damage instead of just healing there. Just taking them on their shoulders and sort of riding them, making sure they got onto the point now. It looks like here, Morbid now is going to the Pharah here, so Swip trying to sort of get around and trying to get him back as they're sort of jumping around point and going from the left side here, trying to avoid the sort of the main confrontation on the right and maybe avoid some boops, and a Valkyrie gets popped right away as Haplo and Serial Killer are just sort of attacking the shield and making sure they can sort of engage pretty clean, but Morbid gets taken out in the middle of the barrage, but actually takes Zazan's mech with him. So now it looks like we've got an ulting monkey here onto the point, as Aloof Andrew here is trying to sort of clear out the point as they're sort of speaking now. It looks like CK400 is going to get rezzed as they're going to try to sort of solidify here. But it looks like the kill feed is going all blue, as Horizon Apex is going to solidify and take this point back at around 47%.
Yeah, and you know, there were several ultimates being invested by both sides there, so it looked like Frostbite Esports really wanted to hang on to it, but very critically, Jack22 does have his Transcendence available, so if there is a moment here where he needs to use it, he's likely going to be using it just to keep his tanks up. A very aggressive Transcendence can do a whole lot of work, help you get over this bridge and just take out the enemy team, but it does not look like it's going to be oh no, it does get invested there, but it's not going to be enough, because Pablo's able to take out his counterpart. The Winston's out of the fight, the Reds is in, but now Mercy's not going to have that Reds for the rest of the fight here. Serial Killer very smartly hanging on to that Diva Bomb, waiting for the enemy team to walk in, but he might have waited too long with a 3K. Is Frostbite Esports make it a 4K, so does not look like Serial Killer is going to be able to get any value out of the Diva Bomb. He is going to contest here, try to get some percentage, but just like that, Frostbite was able to walk over. They really didn't even need too much beyond Jack22's Transcendence there just to initiate the fight, get people into good positions here. Simon getting a nice little kill there. That might be enough to initiate with, but Horizon Apex is going to have to be very fast.
Yeah, they're going to have to be very, very fast here as percentage is going to start to build up. They were very lucky there. Frostbite actually lost their main tank in the beginning and were able to sort of recover, but Morbid takes out CK400, so there's going to be nothing to stop Morbid up in the air to sort of take people out as Haplo takes out Jack22. So that is a big loss here for Frostbite as they sort of come in. Aloof Andrew takes out the Zenyatta from the other side too, so it looks like here, but it looks like it's going the way of Horizon Apex as they're going to take a quick switch here unless they can't clear out the point. No, that's going to do it here. They're going to get it back with 81% built up on Frostbite's side. That is a pretty decent percentage. So they probably are going to reduce this to about one fight less. So Frostbite here want to get a quick take as they kind of sort of come back across. They want to make sure that they have another clean engage here. They want to make sure they don't lose Aloof Andrew on this initial engage.
Yeah, Horizon Apex in a very strong position here. They had the Valkyrie. They are going to be using it here. Take a look at Samba popping off, taking out the Winston there. These Zenyatas are absolutely incredible, but it's not going to be enough because Big Al comes in, getting a 2K on both the supports. Big Al making it a 3K, taking out the Fair as well. He might have to just take this one himself, and then Serial Killer with the 3K bomb. How about this Serial Killer play?
Unreal. Clearing out the point, trying to sort of stall it as best they can, but they're still a little uneven here on the point, as they are down about what? They're down about 4-2 right now on the point. Serial Killer gets D-Mech, and a bomb here just to sort of zone out the rest of Horizon Apex, but that percentage tick is still going up. The kill feed was full of red, but it looks like Morgan's trying to do anything that he can, but it looks like here Frostbite's going to take it back, and it's going to go to 99-99, I think, before we're going to be settled here on the Pagoda. So it looks like there's some swishes here. Simon has switched over to the Tracer, anticipating some necessary need to sort of stall out the point here very, very quickly. So he's positioned himself on the far end, and it looks like Serial Killer and Half-Life immediately sort of joined themselves and get right onto the point here. Here comes the last fight, folks, as they sort of jump in, and it looks like it's an engage, but Jack and Andrew get kills of their own, so it does not start well here for Horizon as the Transcendence is coming in. They're going to try to clear out the point, and it is all Frostbite here. Nothing doing here for Horizon. They're just going to try to stall out and see if they can last as long as they can here on the point. Haplo has come back, and he's going to try to do his best, but he's up against 5 people. He's doing his best here, trying to sort of stall out. Sign me here on the Tracer, trying to just pick off a target, trying to help out his Winston. And Lockery goes down, but they jump off the point, and that is going to be that. Frostbite get first blood here on Lijiang Tower.
And I really like the switch that we saw from Horizon Apex. They were in a position where they had a little bit of time, 81% for Frostbite Esports on that last push there, obviously ticking up. But Horizon Apex went to the complete dive, which, yes, it can work very well. There might have been a little bit of pressure there. They didn't find really any sort of target to dive there. There was not a whole lot of focus fire that came out from the side of Horizon Apex. And because of that, the extended period of time that these fights ended up taking really does not bode well for anybody who's going to be running that dive. So, it was an interesting thought. It's just the execution wasn't there. The damage follow-up wasn't there. So it made it a little bit tougher for Horizon Apex to have any value on that dive composition.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the lack of focus fire, as you said before, was such a big thing. They needed to come in there and they needed to delete somebody from Frostbite right away for it to be highly effective. But they were looking a little off there on that dive. But it was probably because of pressure, as now the engage starts here and Frostbite's going straight into the control. Going straight into the control room, but Simey takes out Big Al, so an immediate DPS loss here for Frostbite Esports as they sort of come in, and they're going to have to disengage here right away, as it looks like Horizon is sort of camped out here on the point, and they're going to try to sort of take this initially as they wait for the Hanzo from Frostbite to sort of come back. But now here comes Aloof Andrew as he charges in from the point. They're probably going to have to end up giving this up here as he's going very, very slowly, and percentage builds up here for Horizon. So immediately they have to give it up, and Andrew unable to sort of get back, and it costs him his life as he goes down to a great fire strike by Haplo, who's keeping the rest of Frostbite at bay as they're going to have to retreat and regroup here.
Yeah, one of the frustrations that Frostbite had there, I mean, getting that opening pick, signed me on the Hanzo, got that opening pick, it was huge. But then there was a position where Frostbite either needed to push, even though it was a 5v6, or they had to pull back. Now, pulling back there did not give them any sort of chance to cap the point, and it really let Horizon Apex do whatever they want. And now look at the tank ultimates coming up available for Horizon Apex. Of course, Sign Me has his dragon up right away, trying to zone them out. The Moira Coalescence coming in on the other side. Nobody's dying here. It looks like kills are going to be traded. Finally, on both sides here, Frostbite Esports showing a little bit of life, but I mean, Serial Kill is not going to let this happen, doing so much damage, building that Graviton Surge, like we mentioned before, having Hoplo on the tank with that final punctuation Earth Shatter. These tank ultimates are being built very, very quickly on the side of Horizon Apex. So Frostbite Esports is going to have to figure out, how do we make it so that these tanks don't have so much dominance, and having tanks of your own, just like Zazan here. Take a look at this, 100 energy Zarya. That is a frightening sight.
It is a very, very frightening sight here, as now they're entrenched here on the payload, giving up about 58% here. So they give up a pretty decent amount of percentage here, as they've had to take 2 fights here to get onto the point. Now it's a reset time for Horizon, as they're sort of kind of coming in. They've got to make sure they control Haplo here as he sort of gets in, but he gets caught up in the Graviton, and this is their chance to be aggressive as they take him out in that Graviton charge. So great work by Zazan, catching the main tank here and forcing Horizon back, and they're getting aggressive here. They want to sort of camp out by the front door. They don't want to let him in. So they want to make sure that they sort of slow them down, but losing Jack here is going to be the go signal for Horizon. They're going to try to sort of move in on here, but a Dragon comes here to keep them at bay, so they can't sort of use that sort of instant kill advantage here to sort of come in. So they're now back up to 6v6 here as they engage, and now a counter Graviton and a great combo ult here by Dirty to take off Andrew as trades go back and forth as they lose both tanks on both sides here. So now it's a 4v4, and it's going to be up to the DPS to see who can take out who as Haplo gets res. So the advantage here with Horizon as they sort of come through, but a counter barrage here by Big All takes out 2 from Horizon, and it is going to be solidly still, I think, for Frostbite, unless they can get anything be done with it now. They're just going to have to reset. They're up to 75%. Horizon is in trouble here. They might end up losing this point if they can't get this next fight right.
Yeah, really no need to panic right here. You have about 20 seconds left to initiate this next fight. Obviously, Dirty getting the pick onto the Mercy is going to be a huge deal. They smell blood in the water, and Horizon Apex walking right in. A little bit tough right now. Haplo is losing his shield, but he doesn't even need it if he's going to be getting kills like that. Shatter coming up very quickly here. Again, not needed. There's no Mercy on the enemy team. There's no tanks on the enemy team. And then you have somebody like Sign Me who's able to get in, get those shots down range, hit the headshots. I mean, look at this. He takes out the Hanzo. Mercy finally makes it back into the fight, immediately dismissed once again by Hanzo.
Yeah, big stuff there. Big stuff here coming out for Horizon. So Sign Me comes right back up, so they're ready for this last push here from Frostbite as they sort of come through. It's interesting here, as they're sort of a little split up, it looks like Andrew has sort of gone through the control room, but is now back. But a Graviton here catches all of Horizon as the Dragon comes in. But will they be able to get anybody down? No. Great Transcendence there by Morbid, and a counter Dragon coming onto the other side, knowing that the Transcendence had come out on the other side, as Sign Me does catch CK400 and Jack 22. So it looks like here it is going to be Horizon Apex going to be end up finishing off this point, but a final barrage here by Big All takes Morbid, but there's nothing they can do about it, and Horizon evens up the score here at 1 apiece.
Yeah, really smart play, and it all starts with Haplo and Serial Killer. Their tag team ability as the Reinhardt Zarya. Again, you know, tanks aren't just there to soak up a lot of damage, right? That is going to be their main thing. Of course, that's what they're doing. But what they really need to do is provide map control, and they need to be able to create space for the DPS to do their job. And that's exactly what we saw out of Haplo and Serial Killer there. You know, working in tandem, having that Zarya constantly keeping a bubble on the Rhine whenever she has it, it elongates these fights, and it lets somebody like Sign Me, who was popping off as Hanzo in that last round, it gives him the opportunity to be able to get those shots down range and confirm those kills. Now we've got Sign Me back onto the other sniper, back onto the Widow, which we saw initially. He's going to be dueled here by CK400.
Yeah, and CK400 there doing pretty well as he takes Sign Me out initially, so they lose the Widow right away. And immediately they're taking their advantage as Archmage goes down with him. So now they're up 2. They're going to try to push this advantage, maybe just go straight to the point and try to take it out. Zazan takes out Morbid, so they're up. Really up here. So therefore, it looks like Frostbite's going to take this point relatively easy, as Horizon sort of has to just back up. That early pick of Sign Me there just cost them so much, and now they're going to be aggressive here. They're going to come out, they're going to try to push this advantage. This is a hard point to take and hard to break here if you lose it initially early right away. So let's see what Horizon is able to sort of pull up their sleeve.
Yeah, it was really, the writing was on the wall. Like we mentioned before, on King of the Hill, CK getting that first pick was such a huge deal. And then, of course, the Mercy had to make that decision. Do I res this? What do I do here? Trying to go for the res did get taken out. And now we're in a position where it's just cleaning up for Frostbite Esports right now. This does not look like it's going to be a good opportunity for Horizon Apex. Likely trying to get out, just keep everybody alive. Certainly keep your diva in mech. Again, it's not a panic situation. You're at 40%. Horizon Apex just needs to build a few ults, try to even out this ult economy here so that the next time they initiate with their dive, clearly they're very focused on this pharmacy dive, that they're able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, they're really trying really hard here, but I got to give it to Frostbite, who are holding them at bay really well here, as well as getting like these little picks here as they get Dersey and Sign Me again. So they're just unable to sort of come out and actually engage. Lockery brings Jack 22 back up, so they're now, it looks like Frostbite here at full strength as it's just sort of ticking away here. We're almost at 70%, so they got to make sure they get this right as ults start to come up here. Cilia Killa and Archmage both have their ults, but Switch is coming in as Dersey had to go to, is now going to the Hanzo as they're engaging here on the sort of the top level, and Big All here trying to catch anybody he can up at the top. Nothing doing there, so nothing with that barrage, but it looks like a Diva Bomb here trying to sort of zone out all the people from Horizon as Morbid gets taken out and Dersey also gets taken out by Big All. We're at 90%. Somebody here has to get to the point or this fight is over. Horizon having huge issues coming out of spawn, and it looks like here as we're ticking down, nobody there. They do have somebody that was snuck onto the point here. CK400 has to sort of back up here as Haplo here is on the point, trying to stall out as best he can. He has to sort of abandon ship here. Can anybody make it back? Serial Killer now on full stall as they're going to try to come in one by one. Big All takes out Morbid and kills going the way of Frostbite Esports here. Lottery brings Buffalo Andrew, who was taken out early on in the fight, as they sort of continue to engage here. The Hanzo and Mercy trying to sort of do anything they can. A Dragon comes in, just trying to sort of zone out the point, but not anything doing here. It is Frostbite who does take Lijiang Tower 2-1.
Yeah, and really what we saw there was a situation in which, you know, both teams had a dive, slightly different dive comps, but both teams had a dive going into that map. And really, Frostbite Esports, they just played it better, right? Their dive was very strong. Horizon Apex was in a position where they could choose to go for the dive faster, or they could try to go for maybe more of a counter dive strategy, let the enemy tanks get into you, and then you dive back on top of them. But it really seemed like Horizon Apex, they either didn't have a plan in mind to deal with such an aggressive dive that Frostbite had brought there. Either they didn't have a plan or they did have a plan. They just weren't able to execute as strongly as Frostbite was. And it shows in what happened on that map there. That was a fantastic hold, initial take, and then a hold by Frostbite.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is Horizon started switching up late there. I thought maybe they might try to come out with a different sort of combination on that dive. Maybe they were just sort of sticking to it because they wanted to sort of practice that particular comp. But I was actually surprised that maybe you take out, maybe you have a chance to take out the brigade so you can get through. Horizon had real issues coming out of the doorway, and Frostbite was doing such a good job and not basically letting them have an even fight. So one person would go down most of the time before they were able to sort of engage completely. And it just gave Frostbite some easy wins there at the door. So it looks like here, I see Rialto coming up. So I think they're going to be going to Rialto here as our next map. But it is going to be, this looks like it's going to be an escort map here as they're going to be just sort of restarting. In the meantime, though, it looks like some substitution. Oh, it looks like Frostbite here going to some, is that substitution? No, it looks like they're restarting. So we're going to have a little bit of a break here as Frostbite sort of gets its players back up, gets some of them restarting. So I guess we'll be right back as we go into Rialto. So it'll be me and Argander as we come back, and when we come back, it will be Rialto here between Frostbite and Horizon.
right, thanks so much for hanging out there with us, guys. We are going to be going to Rialto right now. Everybody's computers are turned back on, monitors are back on, so it looks like these teams are back at it again. If you recall, we just left Lijiang Tower. Was a little bit of a split one there. We had 2 maps going in the way for Frostbite Esports, 1 map went in the way for Horizon Apex, so didn't really learn too much. I mean, both of these teams are fantastic. One of the things that we did learn, and this is what Horizon Apex is going to have to try to deal with, is once Frostbite Esports gets into a position where they have control, whether it's map control, whether they just feel confident in the positions that they're in, they are so hard to dislodge, especially on that last map of Lijiang Tower. The moment they had that high ground control, the moment their dive was rolling, they actually could not be stopped. For the entire map, they couldn't be stopped. So Horizon Apex is going to have to figure out some way to dislodge Frostbite Esports if they do get into one of those snowball situations.
Group up here.
Yeah, and that's going to be very, very hard here for Horizon Apex to sort of counter. So they're going to have to sort of figure out what they can sort of target here to make sure that they can sort of break what Frostbite's going to end up doing, as it looks like here, for the offense, it looks like they're going to be going with an Orisa start here on Rialto. So they're going to try to make sure that they need to get over this bridge carefully, because you don't want to get sort of sent out into the ocean here, or the canals here of Rialto as they start this engage. But it looks like Horizon has positioned themselves around the first corner and are going to give them the first corner here before the engage actually starts. And it looks like Horizon's sort of backing up, and they want to take the fight into the square here. I can sort of understand that with that being a lot of sort of open space, and now Haplo starts to engage, and now he's started coming in on Zazan as they sort of press their defense right now.
Yeah, Signby opening up with that Mercy pick was incredible. I'm surprised we didn't see more aggression from Horizon Apex just to clean up the rest of the team. I mean, without their Mercy, it's very difficult for them. They may have been a little bit scared of a loop coming in with that halt taking people off the bridge, but now we're into the main area here. This is exactly where Reinhardt wants to be. We know Hoplo is doing a lot of work on Reinhardt. Take a look at that. He already has his Earth Shatter. He's already used his Earth Shatter. Serial Killer following up, getting the Diva out of Beck and Morbid, giving the boot to CK. So it looks like this is going to be a very strong hold, opening up for Horizon Apex here. Hopefully somebody can take out Arsenal before he does any more damage there. Getting the exit kill onto Hoplo. This might open up the point for Frostbite GG.
Yeah, it absolutely can, as it looks like Andrew got res there on the point. It's a bit of a risky res, but it was actually in the benefit here of Frostbite Esports as the fight sort of continues, and now they've taken huge advantage here as CK400 basically took out both Archimage and Dersey, and they're probably going to cap this point A. They just weren't able, they were able to take out Haplo there, who was very aggressive onto the point. And with the res of Andrew, they were able to sort of come back and use the spawn advantage to sort of move Horizon off that point. And now as we get into into section B here, Horizon sort of has positioned themselves inside the house and are just sort of waiting for Frostbite to sort of join them in here. So they've had to sort of back up and are going to have to like sort of give them a little bit of space as they sort of want to counter. They want to take this fight underneath this sort of bridge as they sort of come in and not give them sort of anywhere that they can sort of back up to. So Haplo and Serial Killer have sort of backed up here. We've got ults on both sides, so it's going to be a pretty big fight once they actually engage onto this point. And it looks like here the Zarya is trying to wrap around, and he's trying to see if he can get Zazan or poke Zazan out before maybe using that Graviton as they start. But it looks like the bongo comes down here from Andrew, trying to get some additional damage as a Transcendence comes out from Morbid, and the engage is now on.
And I gotta tell you, I really like that Transcendence that came out from Morbid there. Take a look at all these kills here, but you know, here's the thing that you have to start keeping in mind when it comes to Zenyatta Transcendence, right? Typically, if the enemy team is running Zarya, if they're running a Hanzo, they're usually going to have a Mercy. So, you know, Transcendence is no longer a guaranteed counter to the Grav combo. In this situation, there was no Hanzo that was coming in with the Dragon, but I just love those aggressive Transcendences that came out for, you know, just to hold the point, keep your tanks up. It's such a smart way to play. It's getting you back into the position of playing Zenyatta the right way. But take a look at CK on the backside here, putting pot shots down range. It feels like nobody's able to do anything to CK right now. Signby is not in a very good position. He was taken out earlier, so he's not going to be able to stop him. Finally getting back into the site with a 2K, both headshots. 2 bullets is all Signby needed right there. Finally going down to Lockery, who is the Mercy on the side of Frostbite. So, I mean, you know, just when you thought Simon was not even in the fight anymore, he's able to get those shots down range. There's a lot of very interesting sight lines when it comes to Rialto here. There is going to be time for at least one more hold, but Horizon Apex needs to figure out how to get a little bit more value out of these tank holds.
Yeah, they absolutely do. So, but Sign Me, they're doing some extra work as Haplo sort of comes in with the Earth Shatter, and now it looks like they're comboing to grab it. Though the barrage did go to the other side, it looks like, but kills go on the side of Frostbite Esports here, as Serial Killer here on the point, just trying to sort of slow down Zazan and Arsenal, but no, they take him down, and it looks like here Frostbite Esports are going to move in and take point B relatively easy with about 2:10 here left on the clock. Now going into point 3 here, this is notoriously the hardest part of Rialto, as Sign Me gets a late kill here onto Arsenal. They want to make sure that they have to get at least a good wipe kill. They want to get a majority of Horizon down here in order to sort of move this payload out from this sort of position that's going to be in front of this sort of church that they're going to come up. So Haplo and Serial Killer, though, are trying to be super aggressive and engaged before they even get to that point, as Haplo is just sort of swing away here on the point with a ton of support. Another offensive transcendence here by Morbid, just to make sure that Haplo is alive. Great work there to keep the tank alive, and it is paying dividends as Sign Me and Dersey actually get kills here as they're sort of pushing through. It looks like it's gone wrong here for Frostbite Esports, as they're going to probably have to back up. CK400, there's no more magic left in that Widow, and she's going to have to back up, and it is a reset here for Frostbite.
I'm a little bit surprised that, you know, Dersey is continuing to stay on this Pharah. I'm not saying he's not doing work. I just feel like he could be doing so much more work as Hanzo right now. I mean, you have the Graviton Surge, but also the sight lines are very good for you. And even, you know, scarier to think about, you're playing Pharah into CK400 and Jack 22. I don't know how you can get away with that very long, but it doesn't seem like Dersey's been getting too much value. He is coming up with the rockets here in a moment, probably looking to initiate this fight. Stop it before it starts, but here we go with the Graviton Surge. Looks like the counter shatter's coming in from Hoplo. Nobody's dying, but it looks like finally Horizon Apex has found their positioning here. Dersey getting in a couple of kills there. That's exactly what he needed. Getting the Mercy on the way out just feels good, especially knowing she just used Valkyrie. No Valkyrie is going to be available for the next fight on the side of Frostbite, whereas Archimage for Apex still has that Valkyrie available.
Yeah, and Serial Killer is going to get a Graviton here, and that is going to be such a huge ult. But the key, I think, here is Horizon's positioning of the payload and making sure that Frostbite is coming from sort of weird angles as they're trying to attack. They're using this payload really, very well, stopping it where they have, and not allowing Frostbite any really decent sightlines on the engage here. I like the fact that they're using the map geography to their advantage and making sort of Frostbite get trapped in odd positions. Graviton comes out by Dersey, and down goes Arsenal, and an Earthshatter comes up to follow up to catch Aloof Andrew here into the backline, but there's just nothing they can sort of do. They're just trapped behind this bridge and sort of payload, so there's nothing they can do to sort of come out through as time keeps ticking down here. CK400 does get a big kill here on Sign Me, so that's going to open them up here. They're not going to have to worry about the Widow trying to pick them off as they come out through these narrow little passageways here. A charge comes in by Aloof Andrew here, and another Transcendence here by Morbid to save his tank. Again, great timing here, and Aloof Andrew goes down to Serial Killer, and a barrage comes out on a Graviton combo here by Arsenal, takes out both Archimage and Serial Killer, and now they're getting the space that they need. It looks like the kills have finally come here for Frostbite Esports, but with only 30 seconds left, there's going to be a really tight fight here on the final point. They have to make sure they get a clean wipe, or it's not going to really happen here for Frostbite.
And there's not a whole lot that Horizon Apex has available at their fingertips. I mean, Hoplo might be able to come in with that shatter, but it's going to have to be Dersey getting a couple of kills, or at the very least lowering that enemy Reinhardt shield so that Hoplo can get a clean shatter off. Dersey's still in a very thoughtful position here, trying to just wait to see if anything happens, and it looks like Sign Me is going to be the first one to get something to happen, and here comes Dersey with the 4K. How about Dersey?
Oh my goodness, Dersey doing the dirty in the back and ending the match right there, taking it upon his shoulders and just getting right into the back line, taking out any supports that were hanging out there, any long-range DPS. There was just nothing Frostbite could do about it. With 30 seconds left here on the with 30 seconds left as they approach the final point, it is one of the hardest sort of points to get with that amount of time remaining. You need to get a clean engage and you need to get a clean attack in order to even have a chance at that point. And Horizon, who was coming out of the spawn, had a plan to just basically go right back at him and just flanked with the Pharah. Dersey staying on that Pharah the entire time. Somewhat questionable, as you had pointed out, because of the way that CK400 was playing, but just that Pharah ult at the end, basically ending any chance for Frostbite to get 3 points here on Rialto, as we now switch with Horizon now going onto the offense.
Yeah, and it's interesting to think about alternate timelines because again, the Pharah, rocket barrage at the end was, utterly exceptional, right? But the question you also have to ask yourself is, would it have gotten that far had they switched onto something else? Now, the answer could very easily be no, but I am curious as to why we're not seeing a little bit more Hanzo coming out of Horizon Apex. I'm not saying that you have to pick Hanzo, but just given how incredibly strong he is, I am a little bit surprised that we're not seeing more of that double sniper coming out. That double sniper has been so oppressive. If anybody has been playing comp recently, you know exactly what the double sniper meta is about. Well, I guess if you've been playing it really recently, you know what the Symmetra comps are about, which may or may not be a good thing for the game as a whole. But as it stands right now, I am very, very perplexed that we have not seen more Hanzo. Let's see what Sign Me is able to do back on this Widowmaker. Did open up that last fight. Let's see if he can open up the first.
Yeah, the sniper that we get isn't the sniper that you wanted, because Morbid here on the Ana instead. So we're going alternate support sniper here for Horizon as they sort of push in. And a little defense difference here for Frostbite. Frostbite deciding to sort of position themselves on the top of the hotel here and actually go at them right away as Serial Killer gets dumped into the canal and CK400 gets Sign Me. So immediate reset here coming out from Horizon. Not very good at all. Not a really good start here as Arsenal gets a late pick on Morbid, and now they're going to have to decide here, are there going to be any changes that are going to be coming into this comp on this initial engage just to get them out of the initial start?
Well, I gotta tell you though, I really like what Morbid does on this Ana. You don't see it a whole lot, and that's why I think it's so interesting. People aren't prepared for it. As Ana, CK just making sure this fight doesn't even start. As Ana, he likes going on that left side flank, but one of the problems is Morbid is scoping in as Ana a lot, and one of the, when you scope in as Ana, you're gonna leave that red trail of your dart going out to your target, so people know exactly where you're hiding. We saw him pay for it with his life trying to heal his Mercy on the last fight, but the positioning is so good that nobody's able to get to him for the most part, so it might not end up mattering, especially with Sign Me getting that kill. The res does come through, but that just means that there's no res coming up next, and it's gonna be a second kill for Sign Me on this. I can't even believe this. Sign Me is getting a third kill. How about this? Make that a fourth kill on the Diva mech. I think you know what's happening here. It is all thanks to Sign Me there. How about that? Hitting those shots in quick succession there. Did not even care what the enemy team was doing. What a player.
Oh, unbelievable play there by Sign Me. Just basically saying, nope, I'm gonna clear out this point. I'm just gonna go and do it here. Looks like an engage coming in, but Haplo, who is nano boosted, takes down the last threat there on the point. Looks like no, they look like they do stall it here with 0.14 meters left to go. They just have to get Zazan here off the point, and that's going to be pretty bad. They're going to get staggered relatively badly here as the spawns are going to have to be backed up here, and they're going to give them a lot of free push. With Horizon doing their thing here, they're probably going to be very aggressive. You can see them already sort of moving in to position, trying to see if they can sort of spot who's going to be coming out from Frostbite as they sort of position themselves right before the corner. Serial Killer here looking like he's getting itching to start to sort of get a big grab here as they start their engage.
Graviton is likely to be coming out here. Dersey does have the Air Barrage ready, and even if Jack pops his ultimate, it might not be enough to stop it. That's a whole lot of damage, but a kill is more than enough to stop all that damage coming in. Kills are being traded back and forth, and Sign Me, once again, is popping off, getting a 2K there. That might not be enough for his team. Reses are coming in for both sides here, so we still have a fight. Serial Killer thinking very hard about this Graviton Surge. Hoplo is there. He may be able to follow up with some damage. Keep your Mercy Beam on that Hoplo, and you're going to take everybody out.
Yeah, Yeah, you're absolutely right. And now they've actually just switched the engage points here. They've actually moved forward and pushed them more into closer to the marina here as Earthshatter comes through, but nothing doing as the charges come in. Dersey does take off Aloof Andrew, so no mainline tank here for Frostbite. CK400 trying his best to do anything he can to sort of slow down this push by Horizon, but Horizon getting a little bit better of this fight. Zazan holding the point as best as he can as Haplo, but a Graviton here comes into the back, and a combo by Arsenal does get both Serial Killer and Haplo. The front line goes down, even though the Transcendence came out, but it looks like here they're going to have to disengage, as Horizon here is going to have to back up. Archimage and Simon trying their best to sort of just stay alive here as they're around the building, but no, Dersey gets taken out by CK400 as they wait for the tanks to come back.
Yeah, and keep in mind, and we mentioned this before, Transcendence is not a cure-all. It does not make your team invincible. It's 300 healing per second, whereas the Pharah Barrage is able to dump in 450 damage per second. So, Transcendence is in a very tough place. It's still great. You can still use it to take care of those Graviton Surge combos. But it does get a lot more tougher as all this damage is coming in. It looks like Dersey really wants to get into that Graviton Surge combo with the Zarya on his own side here, looking for good positioning here, but the entire time we're looking for a position, your teammates are falling behind you.
Oh yeah, and it looks like here they just sort of got pincered there as the backline was sort of going down, as Haplo looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication on which way they were going to be going, as Haplo went for the bridge and everybody else went inside the museum. So they're gonna have to reset again here with about 1:30 left. They don't have the proper engage here coming in, so they want to sort of come in now, as it looks like you're Sign Me going for a really aggressive flank going into the back line, and a Graviton comes out aggressively here by Horizon, as they do get one, but Dersey gets taken out by CK400. Aloof Andrew here with the Earthshatter trying to catch the tanks, but it is Haplo who catches them with the Earthshatter as they sort of come through. Arsenal, though, getting Serial Killer, and with Haplo down, they're just not able to sort of push here. Serial Killer trying his best to do what he can here on the Zarya, but now this is gonna probably be in for the final fight, as they have to reset again and try this engage one more time. This is a very, very tough section here for Horizon.
Well, here's what's great to see about Serial Killer. He just used Graviton Surge, and he's already 50% to another one, but the frustrating thing to have watched is for about 4 minutes, he held on to the same Graviton Surge. Had he used it earlier, you don't even have to wait for a combo. Had he used it earlier, he could have had 2, potentially 3 Graviton Surges while he was waiting just to use that one. So it is great to see that he's able to pop it off there. And now it looks like plenty of kills are coming in here. Tank ultimates are going to be built on Horizon Apex, but you don't really need the tank ultimates if your DPS is going to pop off like this. Finally taken out in the backline is going to be Sign Me. Did plenty of damage. Hopefully his team can capitalize on that. Hoplo out on the ship, just swinging that hammer. Look at Hoplo walking in. He does not care where he's at. He's swinging the hammer, trying to take out the enemy team. Morbid walking in with the Transcendence. Again, keeping those tanks alive. That's Morbid's job right now, and he's doing a great job.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job here as they cap point B. But they're only going to have about 1:30 here to basically try to get point C, as Frostbite here tries to sort of engage at the same point here, but they lose Aloof Andrew. That's a big pick here at the very beginning of the fight. They're going to try to move this payload out from under the bridge. They don't want to get trapped the way that Frostbite got trapped here, and without a main tank here, there's not going to be any way for Frostbite to sort of engage. So they're going to move this payload here up, and then they're going to wait to sort of engage Frostbite here on the sort of precipice of the point there. You see the golden box of victory right there as they sort of come through, and Dersey with a big pick of CK400. They have to burn the res on Frostbite's side as it comes through, but Arsenal with a big pick in the back. Trades going back and forth from both teams. Haplo has 3 dead to right, but he gets taken out. But the payload is still moving here as Dersey takes Zazan out, and Serial Killer gets res back onto the point. There are 30 seconds here left on the clock, and there is a slight advantage here for Horizon as they try to get this push. Andrew comes back out here onto the point, and this is probably going to be the final fight.
And this is what we talked about before. Frostbite is so difficult to dislodge, and it looks like Apex had plenty of success with it. They're trying to get it done again here. Not a whole lot of time. The Earth Shatter is not going to be built, though, because poor Hoplo's taken out very early in the fight. 10 seconds left. That's a huge deal. Serial Killer really wants to get this Graviton Surge off, but he is saved by his supports, and now he's getting saved by the rest of his team. Graviton Surge coming in, not getting a whole lot of value, but it's fine because the enemy team is dying right in front of your eyes. We are in overtime here, trying to get it to the last ticks. It might not be enough, though, because Frostbite is dropping like flies, and it does look like these final meters are coming in. And that is a win for Apex in overtime. Man, what a tough team to dislodge in the way of Frostbite Esports. They were able to hold on to the streets phase for so long. But eventually, Apex kept chipping away at that wall, tore it down, got into the final area. Again, it seemed like they were going to be stopped once more, but they just had so much determination on the side of Apex, got the win there, and it's fantastic to see that Jersey barrage once again.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic to see, though. Though it could have gone wrong for them. Serial Killer sent out that Graviton, and it didn't catch anybody at the end there. So they were able to get some picks away from the Graviton Surge. So it is sort of lucky that they did end up getting that point. But kudos to Horizon. They just did not give up. It looked really bad for them at that second point as they couldn't get their engages right. So as that said, so now it looks like we're tied up 1-1 here with both teams as we go into the next map, which will be, I think, Horizon Lunar Colony here, looking for some switches to come through. But I think that both teams here have looked really, really good. Rialto, being a very, very new map, I think is just going to be interesting, as both teams probably want to try to work out the kinks there with regards to where they want to position fights, where they want to sort of position their sort of range DPS. And I'm actually still surprised that Horizon at no point really there did really go with the Hanzo, I thought. So like you were saying again that, like, you know, they were depending more on their Widow Sniper than they were on the other DPS there. So interesting selections by Horizon, but they do still get the win on Rialto.
Well, and, you know, when it comes to a player like Sign Me, it makes sense why you would want to keep him on Widow. You know, let me just turn back time for a moment here. If you remember when Horizon Apex was on attack, trying to get to the very first point, they did get stopped a little bit, and then Sign Me starts popping off, gets several kills. Within 30 seconds, Sign Me had gotten 8 or 9 kills. Okay, because he first opened up the fight, then the payload got about 1.1 meters left to go. I don't know how Frostbite was able to get back so fast, but they really put up a good defensive fight there. And then another 3K came in for Sign Me. So what an incredible just gamer this Sign Me is. Keeping him on the Widowmaker sure makes a whole heck of a lot of sense, especially when he plays like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you have DPS like that, you can sort of depend on that a lot more. So you really don't have to play sort of standard comps. You can just sort of lean on him a little bit. So it looks like here we are going to be, yes, we are going into Horizon Lunar Colony as the next pick of the map here. There were some changes to Horizon in the last patch, so maybe teams still trying to sort of figure some of the slight changes out here. So probably one of the reasons why they can't they want to sort of scrim this and make sure that they got all of this sort of changes in. But this is one of those maps that can be very, very frustrating for a team if they can't get their engages right. As there are multiple points here to engage, but teams very, very good with the long range sniping can shut down a team before they even can get in. And it's going to be interesting here, as it will be Horizon on defense first and Frostbite on the attack.
Yeah, and keep your eye on Morbid. Morbid was the Ana in the last map. Back in Rialto, did a fantastic job, usually a support player, now onto the Torb. And here's what Apex likes to do. I've seen this played before. It's not very common, but it is very, very effective when played. Archimage is going to be solo healing, which means he's going to permanently have Valkyrie up. So as long as the first fight is won on the side of Apex, they're likely going to be able to get point A all the way into overtime, if not won. It's going to be all about what Frostbite does now that they know that there's a Torb comp they have to walk into, all of this spam coming up from Jersey as well, and the first kill coming in right away. I mean, that's what you want to see from your Torb and from your Junkrat. Spam the enemy team out, and then Sign Me doesn't even have to hit headshots. Sign Me can just hit these dinky little body shots to confirm the kills.
I'm loving this strategy. I have never seen this come out before, and Horizon's positioning of where the Torb turret is uses the basically the environment here as a natural shield, so you can't really engage the turret coming in on the right side. Loving this defense here from Horizon. They keep trying to sort of dive this turret as they're coming in. They're just getting melted here, and there is just nothing they can do about it as Lockery sort of has to sort of retreat back. CK400 took out Haplo, but that's immediately going to get res as Archimage approaches the Valkyrie point here, and it looks like Frostbite here getting a little split up here. They have two people stuck on the left, and that is not good. They can't get staggered here, but CK400 trying his best, takes Celia Killer out. Oh, and a huge kill on Archimage here. How are they going to be able to hold this with 4 people? I don't know, as a Transcendence gets popped here for Lockery and just Jack by himself. Very interesting.
Yeah, really surprised at Apex. I'm guessing they didn't know Jack was down there. He was able to get a few kills, especially the kill on the Mercy was incredible, but Sign Me not to be outdone. Getting the 2K double headshot for Sign Me. We've seen that plenty of times before, and I'm sure we'll see it plenty of times again. But seeing that flanking Zenyatta in the form of Jack 22 in that position did not get punished until after he got 2 kills and used his trance. So at the end of the day, it is a lost trance, but Jack was trying to make some moves there. I gotta tell you, I respect the flank.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, like, it actually partially worked. So it was just one of those things in which it's like Horizon's got to be super careful about any hidden players remaining left on the board. They need to make sure they clean up their mess once they actually start taking people out here, or they could be susceptible to things like that. Now it looks like a Junkrat tire here is going to come out. Hopefully they're going to be looking for supports here to get anybody. No dice here, but a lot of damage done to Frostbite as they're sort of coming in from the right side. They've changed their point of attack here, so no more attacking the turret right away. But Simon takes down Jack 22, who's now switched to the Moira. But the advantage of this defense here is they're able to sort of hold the high ground and sort of rain down here on Frostbite Esports with them. And the Diva Bomb here takes out Zazan and Arsenal, so down they go. And the kill feed is just raining blue here as Simon finishes off the rest of Frostbite. Frostbite probably caught in comms now, cursing themselves. They can't break this defense, and it's looking really tough here for Frostbite to do.
Well, and I mean, this is just so fun to watch. Horizon Apex does not panic. They don't even care if they give away some percentage on the point. They know when to initiate on these fights. They're very calm. They're not getting baited out. They're waiting for their moment, and they're striking. Now, on Frostbite's side, they switched to this triple tank with the Moira to try to get Coalescence as fast as possible. They were able to get it, but Dersey takes out your Reinhardt. You are in a decision point. 15 seconds left. You really got to take this fight, and you do not have a Reinhardt. You also don't have a Lucio. Taken out as the Moira as well. And what a showing from Horizon Apex using the Torb solo heal comp. I mean, and then, of course, the Torb getting those last 2 kills is just great to see. But the reason that works so well is, you know, when Frostbite first approached, they had that side, they had the Winston, and they had the Diva. By the time Winston finished his first leap in, by the time he even got to the enemy team, he was already 250 HP. He was taking so much spam on the way in. There was no way he was going to be able to confirm any kills, and that's exactly what we saw happen. Now, Frostbite then switched over to the triple tank with the Moira Lucio. Very interesting way to run it. I think it was a pretty good idea. They tried going top right, they tried going bottom left, but again, it really comes down to Apex having the patience, knowing when to pick their fights, and they're only taking these fights when they have advantage. What a great team comp and great execution by Apex.
Yeah, I'm going to have to remember that one because that was executed brilliantly by Apex. So now they go on offense here. And I'm wondering if Frostbite is going to sort of take a page out of their book and do something very similar to them. But I don't see I don't see a Torb come out. But as we go back to that sort of defense from Apex, I mean, the positioning of the Torbjorn and the additional, he was also right on with all of the armor setup. So like by the end of it, Apex was so sort of buffed up with armor, and the Torbjorn was able to sort of molten core there right at the end, saving it for sort of the final push. They had positioned themselves really, really well, and they didn't really care about giving percentage. You were absolutely right. It was all about positioning and making sure that they won the fight, and not worrying about oh my god, a tick has been given away or 2 ticks have been given away. So now here on offense, they're going in with their own dive here to see if they can sort of get to Frostbite's defense here as they sort of position themselves up top, but without a Torbjorn. So Aloof Andrew are on the Orisa instead, as they're going to try to sort of keep the defense here up on high, and I think Haplo and Serial Killer are going to be jumping up, but I see a Sombra and a Tracer here, so maybe going with double flankers, so very interesting.
Well, really what Horizon Apex wants to happen is they want to get their Sombra into position, get a hack off on a primary target, and then dive onto that target, right? It's a very smart play. It's very tough to do when you're 19 HP, and somehow making it is going to be Morbid staying alive, but Morbid needs to get into that position, get the hack off, and then you're going to see the tanks of Horizon Apex inside me pincer onto that target immediately, try to get the kills, going in very quickly, bullying them off the point, off the high ground is going to be Horizon Apex, but it doesn't really matter if you have good positioning if your whole team's dead, and it looks like Arsenal's going to try to make that happen.
Yeah, Arsenal doing great work there onto the point, takes both Haplo and Morbid down, as now it looks like Horizon here have to sort of reset. Serial Killer, getting really badly staggered here. Oh, that's just evil. Oh, and he pulls the mech down and gets immediately blown up. Oh, shame on you, shame. So it looks like here they're gonna have to wait for the mech to come back, for Zazan to come back here, as they have the great positioning here, and CK400 looking for an initial pick. And you're right, the Sombra is immediately sort of going back to the point, looking for a hack here, and trying to just sort of get a primary target, but no dice here from Morbid as the dive starts in, as the Sombra engaged, but they didn't really get a hack off. And it looks like a Diva Bomb here up at the top here, just going to clear out the point, and that takes down Haplo. Well, that's going to force a res here from Archimage, as they sort of dive back in, and they force them off the high ground and make them fight onto the point, as now it looks like the kill feed is going the way of Horizon Apex here. Lockery forcing to use that res here onto Zazan. Aloof Andrew actually gets Durzy down, but Haplo doing some finishing, clearing off here. There's 3 on the point here, as Horizon will have spawn advantage, and they might want to just keep sort of pressing their advantage here, knowing that it's going to be a while here before the rest of the players from Frostbite can sort of get back onto the point. They're doing their damnedest, though, holding them off as Simon gets taken down by CK400, and it looks like here they're going to have to sort of get back together and sort of reset a little bit before they can really engage.
Well, here's the unfortunate part for Apex right here. There was a decision point about a minute ago where Morbid had died that first time, decided, am I only going for that one hack or am I going for the EMP? They're sticking with this Sombra to try to get the EMP, but if no value is to be gotten there, this is going to be a very bad decision. It does look like plenty of kills are going to be coming in for the side of Horizon Apex. The EMP might have been the best choice there, but now we've got some damage coming in from the other side as well. This is so tough to see. The Hook is the one to take out the enemy Widowmaker. That does not feel great to see, and it very well may be Horizon Apex losing their golden opportunity there with the EMP. Now take a look at the time bank that's left over. 3 minutes left. Again, another decision point. Are we sticking with this Sombra? If we're going to stick with the Sombra, we're going to put all of our eggs in the EMP basket. We saw how that worked out last time. Are we going to be able to change it up this time and get some value?
Yeah, and the key here is that Morbid needs to build this up super quickly. Morbid's at about 50%. Now, that's probably enough here so that when he gets onto the point, he's going to build up some damage and get that EMP off. But the team here has to sort of work around there, but they're not going to wait for it at all, as Haplo goes immediately onto the point and uses the Winston ult here to sort of wipe them all out. And that has created the opening, as Durzy has taken out CK400, who is immediately rezzed, knowing that they definitely need to keep him up and make sure that the DPS keeps coming through here as they now engage onto the point. Arsenal, though, takes out Haplo. Arsenal has just been huge on that Roadhog here. The EMP finally comes out, and this is their chance. This is the window that they've been looking for, as a Diva Bomb here tries to sort of zone out the point. And now kills coming all on the side of Horizon here. They do get 4 kills too, as Arsenal's trying to sort of hold up and try to take the try to keep the point to himself. Jack, last man standing here, and Horizon here are finally going to get point A, but they had to do it in overtime. Oh, Frostbite made him pay for it and made him pay 4 minutes on that point.
Well, Morbid was really the hero of that attack. Not only did he spawn camp the enemies Zenyatta Jack, taking Jack out of the fight, but then was able to make it in fast enough, build EMP, and also blow EMP on the point there. So, I mean, Morbid is absolutely the MVP of point A Horizon here. Now let's see if we can get some of that value coming into point B. And that is a crippling blow. Losing Sign Me there. Again, Morbid was the one who opened up the space, but Sign Me has been hitting some insane shots. The tracking that Sign Me is able to bring both to the Widowmaker and now onto this Tracer has been just unparalleled. Nothing but headshots, tracking, moving targets left, right, and center. It has been so fun to see once Horizon Apex is firing in all cylinders, what they're able to do with this Sombra Tracer combo.
Yeah, absolutely here. And it looks like a little bit of a false start here coming out from Horizon, as they lost both Slimy and Morbid there on the initial push, so they weren't able to sort of snowball and do anything here on the point. And you can see the sort of defense that's set up here as they're sort of trying to come through here. They're Slimy trying to decide which way he wants to sort of flank around in order to sort of get at Frostbite here, as they're sort of trying to play a game of sort of hide and seek and trying to figure out where the best positioning here is, and as well as Frostbite's trying to sort of figure out where Horizon is going to come out. So they're going to try to sort of wait and sort of see who's going to make the first move here. But it looks like here Horizon getting moved on here as Arsenal takes out Sign Me into the back, as the Sombra here looking forward to for the engage, but it looks like CK400 doing their work, so nothing doing here, sort of like a quiet engage here by Horizon as they sort of had to back off and reset.
Well, Arsenal is probably the #1 person you want on defense. He has just been stopping so many pushes with his presence, hitting God knows how many hooks at this point, following up with the kills. Arsenal has been doing a fantastic job keeping this point alive here. Trance is going to be coming in from Jack, just trying to stay alive there. Makes it a little bit tough though, because now Morbid's going to be coming in using that EMP, and here it comes right now. The EMP is in Jersey, somehow staying alive. They're pulling out the blade, and it looks like that EMP took out Lockery by opening up the Diva Bomb. Nobody can get away from it, and now all of the kills are coming in for the side of Horizon Apex. 50% on the point has been taken here, but remember, this is 2CP. It is very possible that Frostbite Esports still has a chance, but they got to get them to point fast.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get him to point fast here, as the stall is now on. They need to get a kill here, but Haplo takes out the bongo and makes sure that kills are coming through here onto the side of Horizon. And Dersey going off gets 2 of his own, and therefore it's just going to be Frostbite here trying to get anybody that they can here. Serial Killer gets DMAC'd, and they're starting to stabilize here. Dersey takes out Lockery again, but they lose Haplo here on the engage with 60 seconds left to go. Dragon Blade comes out, so Dersey now trying to sort of clean out this point. They do, as there's just about 0.4% left. They need to get Jack off, and they finally cap it here with 47 seconds left, and that was excellent there by Horizon there on the final point. They did lose their main tank on that engage there at the end, but great combos and great work there by everyone.
And how about 2 Dragon Blades coming out for Dersey in this same fight? Got the Dragon Blade after he was able to stay alive with the enemy team's Hog. Remember, Arsenal had him down to about 22 HP, got the heal from the Mega, pulls out his blade, opens up the point, and then pulls it out again at the end of the fight to close it out. What a fantastic play there by Genji, staying alive. And I mean, a lot of credit has to be given to the Mercy on the side of Horizon Apex, keeping everybody alive, keeping everybody topped off, and enabling the DPS to do their job. This has been so fun to watch. What seemed like Horizon Apex getting, a little bit stutter-stepped when they first came out onto Lijiang Tower, now looking very dominant in these last few fights.
Yeah, they look very, very dominant, but I like the fact that they're taking their time though, on point B. They wanted to sort of plan out how they wanted to engage. You saw with that one sort of false start engages, they were sort of just sort of poking Frostbite a little bit left and right, coming in from the left, seeing what they would do, where they would collapse. They came in through the middle and through this from the left side and trying to see whether or not if they could get Frostbite to sort of overcommit to any sort of engages. And Horizon very meticulous there on point B, trying to sort of figure out what Frostbite was doing, what they were positioning, how they were positioning, and it was very, very good there. I'm thinking that Horizon maybe with a little bit of rust in the first map, just sort of needed to sort of shake that off in order for them to sort of do and sort of get them into their groove here as they start as they get into the next map here. So no, looks like no changes coming out from either team, but Horizon looking very, very good.
Yeah, and you know, Frostbite, you have to show them respect, and that's what I really liked. Just like you mentioned, it seemed like Horizon Apex was slowing down their pace, getting to positions where they took the fights they wanted to take. And the whole reason behind that is, you know, CK has been just incredible as Widowmaker, winning a lot of these 1v1s. And then, of course, you had Arsenal, who was on the Roadhog in that last map. I mean, just a defensive wall of a Roadhog. So you really have to show respect to these players, and that's exactly what Horizon Apex is doing. They're, you know, if they get picked, if they get an early pick when they're trying to go in, they're not even going to try. They're going to wait until they're 6 strong. They're going to wait until they have the ult combos. They're showing so much respect to Frostbite Esports right now, and it's really, really paying off.
Yeah, they really are. And now here, as we sort of start our new map here, as we now are going into Eichenwald, and it will be, I think it is, yep, Frostbite will be on defense here in blue, and it will be Horizon Apex here in red. And let's see how meticulous they are on this map, because initially here, you sort of have to pick your fights here too, like they were sort of doing on Horizon Lunar Colony, and making sure that you don't sort of get trapped here by this initial engage in the way that they're going to sort of come in. And you're just sort of wondering how the plan out is going to be. It looks like Dersey here going with the pharmacy as sort of Haplo and Serial Killer going for the pulled pork here. So they're looking like they're going for picks, as Sign Me going finally to the Hanzo here. As so now we're going to see some Hanzo play finally come out from Horizon Apex.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see if we're getting baited or if it is going to be the Sombra Hanzo combo walking in. And it very well could be. Archimage is on that Lucio, so just trying to speed people out, which is absolutely fine to do. Don't usually need it on an attacking payload or hybrid type map, but just trying to get his team into position. Let's see if it works out for him here. First kill going to be coming in on the side of Arsenal. It was the Roadhog in the last map. Now on the Pharah, just showing that he is not a one-trick pony, can do a whole lot of work no matter where he's at. Back to a proper 6v6, and you know, Horizon Apex needs to figure out how they want to approach it here, because it feels like standing at the choke into a team like Frostbite Esports is not going to bode well for you and your team.
No, and you're absolutely right. I mean, this is a team that knows how to lock down points, as we've seen on Lijiang, as we've seen on the other maps. So it's like, so they need to come out here with a really decent plan here to break this sort of stout defense that Andrew and the rest of Frostbite has set up here on the other side of the choke, or they're not going to be able to sort of come through, and they're just going to be wasting their time going into a brick wall as the engages started here, and they've sort of displaced Andrew and moved him over to the side. This might be sort of the opening they might be looking for as they position Sign Me here up on the top of the bridge, but are able to sort of dislodge and try to get Dersey there into the back as they take out CK400. And it looks like here they have their opening, and now the kills are going the way of Horizon Apex as they sort of get through. But CK400 immediately rezzed here, trying to sort of get through, but Sign Me again with another big kill here on the Widow, just being super, super comfortable here on the Widow. Dersey using that ult to get Andrew off the point, and now it's just going to be a matter of time, and they break through that stout defense of Frostbite here. Good job here by Horizon Apex.
Yeah, getting a couple kills on the way in there, of course, helped, but I just love that Horizon hit the W key and they didn't stop until the entire enemy team was dead. Sign Me very smartly, you know, initially started on Hanzo, saw the pharmacy that came out on the other side and said, you know what, I'm going Widow. And we see exactly what the results there worked out very well for him in the end. He does have some sights here, though, trying to get a cheeky little pick on the flank here. Now he's being very aggressive, but smartly after missing that shot, pulls out. Get a little parting shot, but it's not going to do too much. And Sign Me is so smart. even though we missed that shot, yeah, you could have stayed there and taken another shot, but you knew for a fact CK knew you were there. So pulling out, staying alive is the best thing you can do in that situation. Unfortunately, that is not the same thing that happened for the Genji there. Taken out very quickly by CK. Aloof getting a kill of his own. Graviton Surge had come in, and it's going to be everything in the way for Frostbite Esports here, getting plenty of value out of that Graviton Surge. And then look at Sign Me, was completely silent in the backline, taking out 2 with a headshot. Can he make it anymore?
No, the thing about it is Simon was just doing so much work, and he gets jacked now too! My goodness! So with the spawn advantage here, they're going to leave Frostbite with only 2 defenders left here onto the point as they get really aggressive here on Zazan and Andrew, and Zazan gets a fire strike to the face, and Andrew finally goes down, and now they are just sort of staggered to no nonsense. So like now, Frostbite Esports here has got to sort of reset and make sure those picks by Sign Me were just huge. And look at the amount of push that they've gotten just on the back of that. Now they're almost to the bridge as the engage is going to sort of start off here again. They really don't have anybody to get to Sign Me as Dersey takes out Arsenal on the start of the engage. Now it looks like Haplo and Andrew sizing each other up here onto the bridge. As they look like here, looks like Zazan, serial killer, looking for the Graviton, just trying to look for an open spot here, trying to see if maybe they can catch more than just the 2 tanks on the front, consistently pushing the W key, as you said though, but Andrew catches them with a big Earth Shatter, but comes to nothing as that payload is moving and it's approaching point B. It's going to get to the door here. They just need to get Jack and Arsenal off the point. Arsenal doing his best to sort of stall out, but nothing he can do against a Reinhardt hammer. That is a solid point B there for Horizon Apex.
And another position where an unchecked Sign Me was able to do so much damage that by the time Arsenal was able to get up there and confirm the kill, it didn't matter. So much damage is getting doled out by this Widowmaker. Frostbite is going to have to figure out some way to directly deal with Sign Me. Otherwise, you're just going to get walked through. I mean, and on top of that, Hoplo and Serial Killer both have their tank ultimates. This is a scary moment for Frostbite. They're going to need plenty of picks. They're going to need 6 picks right now just to stop this. And it looks like Dragon's going to help out with that, make that 5 picks so far. Sign Me trying to do some work, but it's not going to be enough in the face of all that damage coming out. Man, Frostbite, that was their moment to shine. That was the moment in which Frostbite could have easily lost this entire side of the map here, but they were able to bunker down, get those kills in. Huge Dragon that came in as well, and now it's going to be much more difficult for Horizon Apex to get any value because this is so defensively held, especially once that snowball stops. So I'm curious to see what, Horizon Apex tries to do to open this up.
Yeah, they do have a huge ult advantage here, so they might sort of dig into their ult here to sort of break what's going on here with Frostbite. But as I say that, here comes Dersey here with the big, with the Dragon Blade, but they countered by what was left. That was the only ult left. Jack got sort of stuck in the middle of nowhere as Dersey goes after him, and they are just sort of pounding that payload all the way to the end here. Will anybody be able to stop it? Andrew gets there to the very end, and no, they don't. Round 1 complete, and wow, Horizon Apex just was Horizon Apex just able to just sort of do what they needed to do there onto the point, and was just able to just sort of power through using their ult advantage there. Jack 22 only had the Transcendence and was unable to sort of stop the sort of oncoming rush from Apex there as they were sort of powering through the point. They got the kills that they needed, and they get that point with a huge time bank. I think 2:20 here left on the clock.
Yeah, so many pivotal, potentially game-swinging moments happen there, right? So, Frostbite Esports was in a very, very scary spot. There was at least 4 ultimates coming their way. They have been getting snowballed the entire map going into this final phase. It really looked like it was time for Frostbite Esports to just get bowled over to the end. They were able to stay together, turn the fight. So much damage pumped out by Arsenal, who was on that Hanzo. So, that was incredible. That was their moment to shine, and they rose up to that moment fantastically.
Yeah, they absolutely did.
And then at that point, once you're so defensively strong-held in there, I really didn't think that Horizon Apex had a chance. I knew they had some tank ultimates available, but once you're in that defensive position at that last point of Eichenwald, it is so hard to retake it. And Horizon Apex, they rose to the challenge as well and took the point back, getting 2 minutes and 20 left on the clock. What a great play back and forth for both teams.
Yeah, and that's a kudos to them. That just shows the quality here that just exists here on the side of Horizon Apex. And now with Frostbite here, with Frostbite now on the offense, it will be them going in and seeing if they can do or match or better the time of Horizon here. And it looks like here they're going here pretty much with a pretty standard comp, as Arsenal is going to go up into the air with Lockery here onto the to the pharmacy as they engage. And Andrew is going to sort of come in. They're giving them a lot of space here, unlike the way that Frostbite was playing this point, and Andrew was playing a little lower and closer to the bridge. It looks like Horizon has sort of backed up and are willing to take the fight here closer to the point.
And this is absolutely fine for Horizon Apex. This is exactly what they wanted here. You know, take a look at their team comp. They have this kind of divey comp. They've got the Widowmaker and the Pharmacy. What they want to happen is Frostbite Esports to walk in, get into a bad position, or even better for them, use some, you know, movement abilities to get into these positions, thinking that it's wide open. And the moment that Frostbite uses their movement abilities, they get into the tower area. That's when Horizon Apex dives on top of them. That's when Sign Me starts shooting down range. So what a fantastic play there. Great bait that came in from Horizon Apex.
Yeah, as it looks like Frostbite's here ready again to engage this fight, but trades go back and forth between the teams. Arsenal does get 2 people down, but that cost the end of his life, so it's now just evolved here a bit into a bit of a brawl, but the supports are the only ones left here for Horizon here on the point, as he's trying to stay in the air here. Simon trying to get any kill he can up at the top, but they're just sort of exerting that their point here. Serial Killer just stranded there with CK400 into the back, just nothing he could do with Baby Diva format. And now it looks like Frostbite here is going to take this kill on the back of CK, taking out 2 there at the end. Yeah, last minute like sort of stalled there at the end, but nothing doing. It is going to be Frostbite here, takes point A relatively quickly.
Yeah, it was really great play there. Frostbite knew exactly what they were walking into that time. There was no more surprise factor. They played a lot more smartly, and like you mentioned, kills were being traded back and forth. Definitely a brawl fest there, but oh no, CK getting caught out there. The entire team was there, not ready for that. Morbid getting credit for the kill. Plenty of damage to be done there, and Aloof just trying to keep this fight alive. It's so scary on point right now, especially with Dersey popping off, taking out the Zarya with the Pharaoh Barrage, and then Hoplo following up. Again, back into this brawly situation. Kills are being traded back and forth.
Yeah, it's really incredible here as like Dersey and Morbid though. I love the aggressiveness coming out of Horizon though. They're unwilling to give them any space here as they come out of the portcullis, and they're just taking the fight to them right away here under the cullis here. So as they do that, they're just sort of staggering, killing Frostbite one at a time and not allowing them to engage as a full team. Again, this is just an example of Horizon just using the way the map is built and forcing Frostbite to come at them at these sort of weird angles and doorways that sort of forces them into sort of one way or another, and it makes for such easy killing here as a Graviton comes out and catches both tanks, and the Dragon comes out, takes out Haplo, and now that opens some space here for Frostbite.
Yeah, and this is a criminally underused spot for the defense to hold them at the doors there, because here's a couple things to keep in mind. It's a great spot, just like you mentioned, you're getting a lot of kills, but then also, even if you lose a fight there, you have plenty of time to respawn, get back into position on the bridge, so you don't really care if you end up losing that fight. Of course, you prefer to win on defense, we'll hold it right there. But even in the event that you don't win, you've got so much time to take another fight here, and it looks like that's what they're going to be doing right now, pulling out the Trance. Horizon Apex is happy to see that. Trance no longer to be had by Jack, so one more fight before the doors, and there's not going to be a Trance available to save Frostbite next time.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that Horizon has been fighting pretty much off the point here the entire time, and they've spread themselves out really, really thin. Aloof Andrew really hasn't had to really do anything, as he's been sort of sticking to the point here. A charge comes in as he takes out Serial Killer off to the point and avoids the barrage at the same time that is coming from Horizon Apex here. Now they're still moving here, and Andrew and Zazan here very stout here onto the point. Zazan 9% away from here. A Graviton gets it and actually traps the team there into the point, and a flanking Dragon there finishes off Horizon here as they get to point B with 3:38 here on the clock. Frostbite sort of just walked that in.
And that was all Zazan there. I love that decision of just using your Graviton essentially on cooldown. Of course, it was a great time to use it there. I believe Zazan did almost 100% of the damage into that Graviton. Dragon came in a little bit late there, and that just shows you what 100 energy Zarya can do. And now, once you start using your Graviton, you're able to build another one even faster. Already up to 22% is Zazan here. Serial Killer does not have it available. Hoblo is coming in, dying very quickly to Arsenal, pumping out so much damage there, and it looks like no value is to be gotten on the side of Horizon Apex. They're just dropping like flies.
Yeah, they are, and they're wiping out Apex here. Nobody left standing here as they get a... It looks like it is a full wipe here for Apex as that payload approaches the golden box of victory. It looks like here they're going to be able to get one last fight if Haplo can get to the point. They do, but 2 kills immediately here by Frostbite as they come in. Transcendence comes in, and another Graviton here catches Haplo here on the left. Zazan was able to charge that up between the door and the end, and all the kills are coming from Frostbite here as that ends it. Frostbite cap 0.2, very impressive. 0.3, excuse me, very impressive.
Yeah, and that was just so fun to watch. Again, we're seeing these teams who are just, they're able to execute at these very, very high levels. And even when mistakes are to be made, a lot of times they can cover up those mistakes by just having good game sense and really, really good aim. And that's what we've been seeing so many times, these Widows that are able to come in and get these kills. We saw Sign Me on the Tracer, perfect tracking, getting those kills. So it's just so fun to watch these high tier players, 4K plus, top 500 in a lot of situations, players popping off. It's just, it really shows you what a great player is able to do. It's not just understanding the game, it's knowing what to do, yes, and being able to do it once you get there. And that's what we're seeing from both of these teams.
Yeah, it's very, very good. But I gotta give a special shout out here to Zazan on that Zarya. That was just impressive to watch, all the way from the taking of point B and to the end there where he just develops the Graviton there as they're about to finish off the fight. The amount of energy production that was coming out of Zazan, knowing exactly when to bubble and shield, and just the skills on the Zarya was just so impressive by me. So massive shout out there to Frostbite Zazan here. So as it looks like we're going to get ready here, they picked King's Row as the next map here. So we're going to be going here on to King's Row with, it looks like Horizon here again on offense to start off, and Frostbite here on the defense. Another hybrid map, so we get to see Frostbite here do their defending, but it looks like Horizon has been able to sort of have their number here a little bit on these sort of hybrid pick maps. So like Eichenwald, they did give them a little bit of trouble in the beginning there with the sort of defense, and was able to sort of slow Horizon down. But in the end, Horizon was able to sort of break through the defense and sort of move on Frostbite. So Frostbite looking to see maybe like here if they can sort of hold Horizon out a little longer.
And I'll be very interested to see, because I know Frostbite is having a little bit of fun with their picks right now, still trying to figure out what they're going to be doing at the end of the day. We very well may be seeing our first double sniper, and what a map to do it. King's Row has got some fantastic high ground spots, great sight lines, and another thing that you're likely to see from both of these teams is going to be that Reinhardt Zarya. That is a classic combination, and it does look like we're going to be seeing a Reinhardt Zarya on both sides. Here's what to look out for. Whichever tank grouping is able to build their ultimates faster and use them faster is probably going to win the game. So keep your eye on those tanks, because they are going to be instrumental to winning King's Row.
Yeah, you're absolutely right here. As Signme gets Zazan down immediately, so they lose one of their tanks right away in an unresable position, and they are just sort of walking over Frostbite right now. Lockery had to get a Loop Andrew back up as he sort of charges out and catches Haplo, but it might not be for anything, because as they've sort of tried to sort of re-engage here, they've already given up two ticks here onto the point. The spawn advantage here is really with Horizon as they sort of come through. And they've sort of started to defend here in the back. Signme again takes matters into his own hands and takes out CK400, but losing Archimage here is a big pick here. Jack22 able to sort of take Archimage out, but Signme again. What can we say about this DPS player for Horizon, as he has just gone ham and has just ensured the point here for Apex?
And take a look at the Graviton differential between Apex and of course Frostbite Esports. I mean, yes, we did see Zazan die very early in the first fight, but 35% to Graviton for Zazan and 81% for Serial Killer. So very clearly we're seeing a big difference in what the Zarya's are able to do. But I mean, really at the end of the day, it's got to be credit to Sign Me for getting so many kills, taking Zazan completely out of the fight.
Yeah, absolutely here. But you know what? Here comes the aggressiveness again here from Apex as they pushed all the way up to almost the beginning of point B here. They lose Sign Me in the beginning here, but they do trade kills as they're sort of engaged right now here close to the second corner, and that payload has moved all the way to the front. And the amount of space that they've sort of bought themselves here has sort of positioned Frostbite Esports in a sort of area where they don't necessarily want to sort of defend right there. But it looks like here they're going to try to sort of reclaim this space as Aloof Andrew and the rest of the tank line here from Frostbite sort of moves bang in as Serial Killer has got the Graviton, is going to look for it here, and they're going to they've got the combo up, so look for the Grav Dragon here any second as they sort of are moving in here on this engage. Serial Killer getting very aggressive, and there is the Graviton, and there's the Dragon, takes out Aloof Andrew and opens up a massive amounts of space here. No main tank here, but Jack 22 comes in with the Transcendence, just a little late to save the tank as Jersey goes off and takes out 2. This is going to be a solid win here for Apex as they approach point B. There's nothing they can really do to stop it. They're staggered too far back. I think last sort of delay here, killing Jack, and now they approach point B, and I'm hoping Frostbite can set up a defense here at the end to sort of stall them, or if not, they're going to have to give it up.
And I gotta just really point out what Aloof Andrew was able to do there as the Reinhardt had his shield up and was able to intercept the Graviton Surge. That is not where Serial Killer wanted the Graviton Surge to be. He wanted it in the back line, but Reinhardt stopped it with his shield. I thought that was going to be enough to save the entire point, so great job Aloof, but unfortunately, the rest of your team still fell behind you, and now we're in a position where this is just exit kill city, really just trying to keep the ball rolling here, easily capping point B as Horizon Apex, and just trying to keep this up. Now look at this sniper positioning. This is why you run double sniper on King's Row. You can create these wonderful crossfires and kill zones by keeping them up on different angles, and then Jersey hitting pixel shots like that, that's got to help out a lot too.
Yeah, absolutely here as they sort of approach the point here. So another, this time a counter Graviton comes out here from Frostbite as they sort of try to get kills, and they do take Haplo out, but it wasn't by the Graviton, it went by a Fire Strike here with 4 minutes here on the clock. Jersey has to sort of fall back here as Sanmi trying to get any last kills that he can, but nothing doing there. Arsenal takes him out, and it's going to be a reset here for Horizon. They've moved that payload pretty far here, so now they're probably going to need to look for an opening here and a kill to sort of move in, but the spawn advantage extremely with Frostbite Esports here. So Frostbite very good at defending here as Zazan and Andrew not going to try to give up any space here up in the front as Serial Killer again has built up the Graviton very fast here. A 4-2 ult advantage as they sort of move in. This is where they're going to try to do it, and the Graviton comes in. Transcendence here to try to counter what's going to come through on that Graviton, but nothing doing. Lockery gets taken out by the Dragon here, and it's full steam ahead here for Horizon as they push W and push forward with 3 kills up on the board, and it looks like here they're approaching the final victory point. They put all their baskets in on the left side, but Andrew and Lockery come out from the right here. Haplo engaging Andrew as the payload still moves. It is full stall time here coming out for Horizon as Haplo trying to get anybody that he can. Zazan gets demeched here. Killfeed is coming up red. Haplo trying to catch the charge. No, Aloof gets taken out here. Lockery the only one left, and they're going to cap it with plenty of time here left on the clock. Horizon looking beautiful there on that final push.
And again, it really comes down to just good decision making, and then of course relying on your snipers to get into their positions, put those shots down range, and hit their shots. And that's what we saw with the double sniper here. Now Horizon Apex, take a look at this. They're going to be coming up on defense here, and if you remember back to Horizon Lunar Colony, where we had that Morbid on Torb with the solo heal, I don't know that Frostbite Esports, I mean, they certainly didn't figure out a way to beat that last time. It's a little bit tougher to do that on King's Row. You can still do it. You have plenty of ways that you can hold on this point. It is a lot easier for snipers to get above or around your shield. So Hoplo is going to be putting some shields up there if they stick with this comp. but it may be a little bit easier for Frostbite Esports to get around that shield, get their picks, and then cap the point. So this is going to be interesting to see if this same trick can work twice.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in this too because it worked so well on Horizon. And it'll be interesting where the positioning is. There are a couple positions where you could put that Torb turret and try, but the way they got it to work on Horizon, they were using that little sort of signpost there as an extra shield, a natural barrier, in fact, to prevent anybody from attacking the turret from an angle. So it looks like Morbid here has positioned his turret here above the point over to the right side here as he's on the ground here, and he'll be focusing on trying to give armor to all of his supports and his tanks here as they sort of show up. Simon positioned himself on the Widow straight ahead here, so CK400 is going to be needing to try to take Simon out before Simon takes out the rest of their team here on this engage. But it looks like Jack 22 interesting goes from now it looks like some last minute switches here, and now they go with the Reinhardt Zarya combo.
First shot of defense goes to Sign Me and finding the head of Arsenal. So that's going to have to be a res in spawn for the side of Frostbite Esports. Not going to have res available coming in for this next fight here. And I love that they're playing around Clock Tower right now for Horizon Apex. Great positioning here. They're trying to bait Frostbite Esports into this kill zone that they've created. And now that they're in position, is Horizon Apex going to be able to follow up and get those kills? And Jersey's going to tell me, yes, we can.
Oh, that was dirty. So if you're watching the top of the point here, the way that Horizon has sort of set up this defense, there are 3 points of attack that Horizon has set up, and it's basically a kill zone that Frostbite sort of walked into. They couldn't shield, they couldn't turn around. Anywhere that they would turn around to, they would be just sort of crushed by death. And it looks like here there's some lag spikes coming in. Looks like Jack 22 here looking like he was spiking, so a pause coming up here from Frostbite as they're trying to sort of fix that up.
And, you know, we did get a little bit of a window into what Frostbite Esports was thinking there. Looks like they were switching onto some sort of dive comp, at the very least with the Diva. Now, that can work, and I suspect it will work, or at the very least they're going to try it out and see how it fares. Best thing for Frostbite to do is really get up to that high ground, try to get into Clock Tower, because if you're able to do that, get into that hallway, at the very least it's going to make Widowmaker on defense fairly irrelevant for some portion of the fight. It's going to give you some breathing room, get in there, try to get a kill, maybe even take out the Torb before he's able to Molten Core. That would be great for Frostbite Esports. The scary thing about going into Clock Tower is, remember, Horizon Apex on defense, they also have a Junkrat. That Junkrat's going to be dumping nades into that hallway. So, I mean, you're really, pressed up between a rock and a hard place right now.
Yeah, absolutely here. The defense here is very stout here that's been set up by Horizon. So they haven't gone to the Winston yet, because I would think that they would probably need it just to get to the high ground here, but they're actually going to go through Hotel instead and focus on Morbid here as they take him down from the window, but he immediately sort of Morton Force here, so now they're in this sort of kill zone again as they're trying to sort of deal with what is going on, and it is just not gone right at all. All the kills went the way of Horizon here, as Apex here just sort of knocking him down and nothing doing. They weren't able to sort of break that defense that they've set up here again. So back to the drawing board for Frostbite here with only about 2:10 left on the clock.
Now Frostbite is going for this quad tank method with the Moira and the Lucio. So what this team comp traditionally wants to do is get everybody on point and win the attrition battle, right? You have more HP, you have more healing. Getting on point is not where you need to be right now, because Horizon Apex has got this kill zone set up. They've got the crossfire, and of course they've got the Junkrat who's able to rain down so much damage. Then you've got Simey following up. I mean, this is not where you want to be right now. Horizon Apex, this was their plan from the beginning. Get them onto point, we win the fight.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And it's just it must be so frustrating here for Frostbite as they're coming in. Now Jack here getting a bit staggered as he's the only one left on the point. The downside to running that comp is the fact that if you fail on that comp, which they just did, look at the ult percentages that are coming out from Horizon. Everybody has got their ult up now, and they just charged up super quick based on the fact that there was such large health pools here for the side of Frostbite, and were able to sort of take them down. And now Morbid on the way through another sort of another ult here, and Archimage and Jersey already have their ults coming up as they get to again engage this sort of kill zone as they sort of come through.
And I gotta tell you, I really don't like where Frostbite Esports' mind is at right now. This hasn't been working for you. I'm not sure what was different on that push. I thought maybe they would try to go high ground, do some sort of surprising flank, but no, they went through Hotel once again, ended up on point, and they paid the price for it. Hopefully there's some sort of change for Frostbite Esports. They may be relying on these tank ultimates, which, you know, those can do a whole lot for you, but you don't have any DPS behind it. Right? They're going to be, if you grab them on top of Clock Tower, there's going to be a shield up there. It's going to be very hard to get any damage up there.
Yeah, and I think they're sort of banking on the fact that they have 5 ults here coming into the final point. 6 if CK can get the bomb up, but they're really just sort of satisfied with the fact that they're able to sort of sit on point and they're trying to sort of bait Horizon to come down, but Horizon is being ungodly patient, and they're just waiting for them. It's like, all right, we're going to give as much as you can, and a Diva bomb here onto the point here takes out Arsenal, and Graviton combo here with Jersey taking them out on the point. The patience wins out here as Jack is the last one here on the point. They're unable to cap King's Row, and with just unbelievable strategy and patience, Horizon planning out point A to a T. Great defense by them.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else to say. You know, Horizon Apex, they had a fantastic plan going into it. They stuck to the plan, and really, you know, the devil's in the details, and the details there were perfect. The execution brought out by Horizon Apex really put Frostbite Esports for a loop. They did not know how to respond to it. Now, at a certain point, you know, Frostbite got into their mind, let's put some more health in front of this. Let's get some massive healing here. And I really like what they were attempting to do, where they wanted to go underneath Horizon Apex's, you know, fantastic defensive hold position. That's what Frostbite was trying to do. Problem is, Widow's able to hook behind your entire team, take people out. Then you have Jersey just raining grenades onto you no matter where you stand. So I see what the attempt was, but man, after the second attempt, it might have been worth a switch there, because that did not work out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, like the only thing, the thing about it is they gave up too many pushes on that sort of quad tank setup, and by the second time they needed to sort of jump out of it. But at that point, you're sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? Like you have all these ults building up for your tanks. You need to sort of figure out, like, do I need to dump them? Do I not? And I think they went with the decision of trying to not dump them, not dump the ults, and just sort of power through and see if they could do anything with what they had on the tank. I don't know in that case if it was the right decision, because they just didn't have that sort of flexibility to attack the high level ground where Horizon was sort of camped out at. So Horizon Apex just unable to sort of get they were just Frostbite, were unable to sort of get up there and do any serious damage. And Frostbite decided, hey, you know, we're just going to try to sit on the point and sort of outlast your damage, and it just didn't work. And Horizon just sort of finished them off and melted them towards the end.
All right, now we're going from Kings Row over to Nepal. This may very well be the last map we play today. I think it's going to be one of the last maps, if not the last one. And it's going to be another King of the Hill. So just like we mentioned before, you know, the first team fight victory is such a huge boon to your team. So both teams are vying for that right now. And it looks like on the side of Frostbite Esports, they're going to be running with the double sniper, just trying to get that first pick, open up the fight, get back into that position like we saw, you know, all the way back earlier today, where Frostbite Esports, if they win this first fight, they're so incredibly strong when they're holding a defensive position that it's going to be very tough for Horizon Apex to dislodge them. But it all starts right here with who gets the first pick.
Yeah, and it is super important, because you need to cap this point first, because dislodging anybody off of Sanctum is damn near impossible sometimes. As it looks like here, the positioning wise, Frostbite going with a little bit of more aggressive positioning here as they're sort of moving in on the left, and they get that pick. Jersey takes out Arsenal, but Arsenal gets counter picked there also, and it's just sort of devolved. They're now down to 4v4 here, but Lockery going down for Frostbite is going to be the decider. I think no mercy on the side of Frostbite is going to give a distinct advantage here to Horizon. So Horizon here draws first blood and gets the advantage, and they're going to be able to sort of push in on Frostbite. That is not good here on Sanctum.
Yeah, and on that one, it was a little bit less of a huge difference in ultimates because, you know, both teams were able to get some damage down range. But, you know, just take a look at Horizon Apex. Hoplo already has his Bongos available on Orisa, whereas Andrew is at 44%. So that is a huge difference. It's going to matter a lot here because there's 2 tank ultimates for Apex. It really comes down to how they choose to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. As they get back here onto the point, and they're trying to sort of engage. They've come through the doors, which is like half the hard part here. But it looks like with the flanking tracer in the back line there, Frostbite Esports is sort of stuck between like 2 mines here. They don't know whether or not they should be engaging or not, or pushing through, or actually sort of trying to defend the backline. They do get Dersey though, so that could be the signal here for them to be aggressive and try to push here onto the point as they sort of commit now, as Zazan actually comes down through and Haplo goes down. So, but a big bomb there into the back gets out Lockery. They lose their mercy, but in the end here, they're trying to sort of compensate with Jack on the Transcendence here onto the point and trying to sort of trap them here into the back, and it's now sort of devolved here into a little bit of a draw, but Dersey here getting both Jack and CK on the back. They do get the cap here, but after, but it is 70% here on the give up for Frostbite, so they're going to have to hold it fairly long here. And ooh, a late sort of demech here from Zazan here by Simey. Simey going to try to take Zazan immediately off the field here, but that is not good here for Frostbite's defense.
And Dersey with that fadeaway tracer bomb. Man, that was beautiful to watch there. Didn't really swing the point there, but I gotta tell you, that was a whole heck of a lot of fun to watch there. Now let's see if we can do anything more with it, because it is going to be a proper 6v6 on the point. Hoplo is in a good position here. Can the rest of the team come up? Both of the shields are going to be taken down, but it's going to be CK getting the better of that 1v1 with the enemy Widowmaker. So this is looking like it's going to be Frostbite Esports fight to win here. They are going to invest the Diva Bomb. They might have needed it though, because Serial Killer was able to even up the score. Now it's an even fight on point here, and you cannot leave Horizon Apex out for this long. They will find a way to get these kills.
Yeah, they absolutely did, and they did take out Lockery there, so they lose a giant chunk of healing here. It looks like Dersey is actually focusing here onto the supports and does what he needs to do as he took out both the Mercy and the Zen here, and that was going to be key here for this take. Apex here pushing in on the back of Dersey's 2 kills there on the supports, and now they have a huge advantage here as they have all of their players up and are holding the front door and preventing Frostbite from trying to sort of engage clean here. And another big pulse bomb here by Dersey on CK400. They're gonna have to burn their res here as it's getting close to go time, as they're already at 90%. Transcendence here trying to just sort of counter the dragon that's come through. They've probably lost too many people here as Arsenal gets trapped here into the backline and killed by Serial Killer, and that's gonna do it. Apex looking very good here.
Watching Dersey break that Widowmaker's ankles was just incredible. I mean, Dersey has shown off so many different, abilities. We saw the Junkrat, incredible defense, and now we're seeing that Tracer play. At this point, I don't even know who's able to pump out the most damage. Sign Me is clicking on heads left and right, confirming all of these kills. Of course, you've got Morbid, who's right-clicking the enemy team into oblivion, but I mean, Horizon Apex's tank line is just making this all happen. They're in the best positions, and so far, we've seen them do the best on the Reinhardt-Zarya combo. They have a great chemistry there. Now that we're going with the dive, I would love to see some more great chemistry coming out. I know that they can do it, but I feel like so far, Horizon Apex has had a little bit of trouble with their dive.
Yeah, they have a little bit, and it might be because they just aren't getting the sort of coordination right that's absolutely needed here. And very interesting, as it looks like both teams have gone the opposite way of each other on the engage here. So we don't get a top level engage. Instead, Frostbite Esports immediately goes to the point and playing a Mei here, so they're going to try to play a little bit of control onto the point and using the Mei here to sort of shut off any entry onto the point, and they immediately get the point here as CK400 took out Haplo. And now, with no main tank, I think Horizon here is going to have to sort of back up a little bit and sort of rethink what they sort of want to do here, jumping into a configuration that has something that they're probably not used to seeing here, as it looks like CK400 wraps around and takes Archimage. Yeah, they're going to immediately have to sort of jump out here. No mercy, no push here for Apex.
Well, and mainly what it is, you know, this is a fairly exciting, and it's a great comp to run if you're going to be going with the Mei, having the Reaper on there with the Lucio Reinhardt. I mean, that is frightening to walk in there. That is a true death ball. And, you know, Horizon Apex, they had lost that fight before it even began. Just being on dive against what Frostbite brought to the fight there, they had no chance of winning it. So now it looks like they are still going to be sitting on the point. That's exactly what Frostbite wants to force this fight to be. Always on the point, make use of that Mei, make use of CK, and don't walk into a position where Horizon Apex can get an easy dive on you. And this is what we're seeing in the kill feed right now. You know, Horizon has to walk in at a certain point. They need to get close enough and try to confirm these kills, but it's not going to happen. I would have expected to see a quicker switch coming out from Horizon Apex. They are going to be switching it up right now here, but it's already 70% cap for Frostbite, so this may be a little too late, but Serial Killer onto that Junkrat is very, very interesting to see.
Yeah, it is very, very interesting to see here, but, you know, Frostbite have been playing this excellently here on the point, just using their configurations to a T here, and with a huge ult advantage here now, they're going to be able to sort of hold this as long as they can. Morbid here comes in with the Transcendence, and immediately the wall pops up as they're able to sort of trap the remaining members here of Apex here, and what a big Reaper ult there by CK400. He takes out 3 of the Apex here. There's nothing they can do. Archimage is really the only one left here, and he's like the Mercy outside of the point. Overtime ticks down, and it is a 100-0 sweep here on Village. Frostbite just definitely had their number here configuration-wise on this map.
And really in that position, we saw, you know, Horizon Apex, they threw out paper. Frostbite came with scissors. There's really no talking around that. Now, it did get to a position where Horizon wanted to switch up their comp. I love the switch that they made there, especially with the Junkrat. Just pump in that damage, force down the Rhine Shield, force them to use their, you know, their Wraith ability, Ice Block ability. That was a great idea, but at that point, 70% cap, there were so many ultimates that were in the way for Frostbite Esports, and even more crucially, so few ultimates for Horizon Apex. They had no catch-up mechanisms, and at that point, there was really just a very slim chance of victory, but it was taken away. Now we're in a position where it's 1-1 here on Nepal, going to our final map here. This is anybody's game.
No, it absolutely is here, and we see it looks like they're both going dive here as they're going to engage, so it's going to be up to this first pick here, and then they are, Horizon Apex here, going super deep here, targeting the supports right away into the back, and they get Lockery. They know how important Lockery is to the team. Arsenal takes Morbid out, so a counter support kill onto the side, but it looks like here, just trading kills back and forth between both sides as the DPS are trying to see who can get the better of each, but it looks like Dersey and Sign Me are the ones who do get the better of Frostbite here as they cap the point here first, and are going to have the advantage here going into the next fight.
Horizon Apex picked dive, and then they dove. That was, I know that sounds silly to be impressed by that, but one of the things that a lot of people can get wrong with specific hero picks or with team comp picks is, yes, they pick the quote-unquote correct hero, but they don't play it correctly, or they pick a certain team comp, but they don't know what they're doing, so it just never worked out. That's what dive should look like. Fantastic job by Horizon Apex, and the next fight is already starting here, and it's going to be Sign Me getting 2 kills onto the 2 supports, not being stopped there, taking out the tanks as well. Sign Me is just popping off.
Oh, no mercy from Sign Me at all. They opened up there with Durzy's ult there just to sort of see if they can get them coming out of the door. They nullified that, but they just weren't able to do anything with Sign Me in the back there, taking out both supports and ended the fight relatively quickly. Once the supports went down, I think Frostbite knew that they were in done, and Arsenal already gets taken out before the fight engages again with a huge pulse bomb here. Lockery forced to use the res here as they're starting to engage here on the point, but now it's a reverse position of what's happened to Apex, as Apex now already at 70% here on the point and just not allowing any engages here from Frostbite to come off clean. They finally get onto the point as they're starting to engage here, as it looks like Haplo trying to sort of move the people off and trying to get his team better positioning here on the point. But Lucio ult comes out here now to give a little bit of extra health as Durzy takes out Jack there in the back. Killing the supports has been a priority here for Apex, as that's been their focus. Jack gets Rez though back into the fight as a Dragon Blade here just tries to get anybody from Horizon to do anything as they're sort of sailing here on the point. Kills now coming onto the side of Apex as they're trying to do their best. It looks like a Diva Bomb here to stall and zone out the point. We're already at 99 here, so they need kills. Frostbite needs quick kills right now, or they're going to get timed off the point. They have to be very, very careful here, or they don't want to C9 as they sort of come in as the engage starts again. Sign Me again takes out CK400 here, so they lose their flanker and they lose a huge chunk of DPS onto the side, but it might actually work out for them in the end as Zazan and Jack get kills that were super, super important as they do take the Mercy out for Horizon, but the fight continues on as they start to engage. Nobody giving up an inch here as it looks like Durzy actually comes back onto the point. This overtime has been going on for so long. Frostbite has to be super careful about abandoning the point because overtime can sort of tick down right away. I don't think that's going to happen here because I think the fight here eventually now is going to go to Frostbite. Yes, it looks like Horizon finally has given it up and will reset. Woo!
Yeah, but Horizon is resetting with 5 ultimates available. It's going to be very, very difficult not to win this next fight. Horizon Apex is in a position where they will win this map or they will lose this map. It is completely up to how they play this next portion here. And if they outplay themselves or make bad decisions or miss certain shots, miss their ultimates, that is a huge deal. And I don't think they're going to have much of a chance after that. So it looks like the beat is going to be coming in here, just trying to keep everybody alive as more. But I love that aggressive beat, getting his tanks on a point, and it's going to pay off in dividends right away because Sign Me taking out the Mercy. We've been seeing him do that all day, and he is not ready to stop until this map is over.
No, he's not. And as the fight sort of goes on, Sign Me just enforcing his will on them, takes Andrew and Jack out, so they do lose their other support and their main tank. Sign Me just going ham all around. He's basically saying to Frostbite, come at me, bro. There's nothing they can really do about it as Arsenal and Lockery try to stall out this point as best they can. They're trying to build up as much percentage as they can and try to keep this stall going. They know they're still in control here, so they want to keep somebody here onto the point, but down goes Arsenal. That's the last person in. Zazan is right outside of the point. He needs to get back on here before they sort of start to tick down, but as a Luke Andrews sort of goes down here, it's just being swarmed here by Horizon. They're not willing to give anything up. Looks like overtime ticks down. They do get back onto the point, but Jack immediately gets taken down. The bomb in the back takes out Arsenal. It is a team kill, and that is going to do it for us as Horizon takes out Frostbite there at the very end of Nepal.
And man, that map went as far as all of Nepal went just so far. That was so much back and forth. I love how many ultimates that Apex came in there with, using that aggressive beat to establish their dominance on the point. And then you really got to remember, there was also a Brigitte swap there for Horizon Apex, and she was able to build rally before that final fight finished. So many great decisions by Horizon Apex there. Really, really fantastic gameplay. And I feel like I say this all the time, but the numbers next to the name, the score, does not really tell the story. These are scrims. People are just playing here to get better. They're practicing for some upcoming tournaments. And again, 4-1 does not tell you what the story was. These were both incredible teams to watch. So much back and forth swinginess, and it really just came down to who could swing the fight at the end. I mean, it was just incredible play by both teams.
No, you're absolutely right. That score doesn't reflect of how good Frostbite was on defensive points and how good how good Horizon was at trying to sort of break them up. So both teams here giving us a great show here on the Horizon channel. And apologize to Jack. I had just watched The Incredibles and I kept calling him Jack through Eichenwald. So my mistake there, onto the point there. But Frostbite looking pretty good here. That score is just not reflective of how well they played onto the point. They were very aggressive when they needed to be. And kudos to Horizon, though, as pulling out those fights when they absolutely needed to, and actually tactically being able to sort of outfox Frostbite in certain places here, like especially on Kings Row Point A there. I loved the strategy. I loved the way they set up, and I loved how they set up also on Horizon Point A. Good usage of the Torbjorn and how they were able to sort of dive on them with their patience. So excellent stuff there by both Horizon and Frostbite.
Well, thank you so much for everybody tuning in today. Thank you to my wonderful co-host, Hodo, and a special thank you to both Horizon Apex and Frostbite Esports for putting on such a great show for us. If you guys really like what you see, remember, we are streaming much more regularly here. We've got plenty of high-tier Overwatch to bring to you. Make sure you give us a follow. That way you're notified as soon as we go live. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you like what you see and you want to help support the channel and support some of the very special things that we got coming up over the next couple months. Please feel free to hit that subscription. It helps us out a whole heck of a lot. And then, of course, if you'd like to join up with the Horizon Overwatch Discord, we are still taking new members. We're just reaching over 800, looking to get to 1,000. We need as many people as possible in here to get us ready for the Horizon Community Cup, which is coming up next month. That is a community cup with about 60 plus teams. Incredible gameplay to watch. Feel free to join in. And if you want to know more about registration, just let us know. We'd love to get you in there. But for everybody here at Horizon Overwatch, for my wonderful friend Hodo, and for myself, Argoner, thank you so much for tuning in, and have a good night.